Oh man, here we go. A little nervous to do this. Can't lie. Um, it's funny too because I don't know. I still get nervous streaming in certain situations, but I don't know. Not like this. This is new and different. As you can clearly see on your screen here, if you're watching on YouTube, welcome to Epilogue at Dawn, my new podcast, which is you can see on screen there as well, all about leaving streaming in 2026 after GTA 6. And man, this is something that has been on my mind for the last year, and we'll get into that and so much with it. But the gist of it is, it's the end or the epilogue happening at the dawn of a new beginning for me in life as well, with a new chapter. When streaming is done for me, after I play about I think 6 months straight of Grand Theft Auto 6, I will be at a crossroads in life, if you will. Kind of sounds too dramatic. Let's not let's not get too serious here. Um, um, I didn't expect to be this nervous when I hit the start recording button. Especially because I did some practice runs, not on actually anything I'm gonna say, but just to test audio to use this mic that I haven't used in a while. Um, man, but yeah, I am leaving streaming in 2026 after GTA 6, and this podcast is going to be my epilogue. It's going to be a mixture of both reflecting on recap of streaming through the years, my thoughts on random stream related topics. Okay, yeah, I wrote that down. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you, I don't know, maybe come by my Twitch channel and ask a pod question that is topical to the show. But additionally, a recap of streaming through the years, but also why I'm leaving streaming behind. Why I'm leaving streaming behind. I gotta make sure to talk clear and slower than I usually do too. That's gonna be something that's gonna hopefully get better over time, but will probably take me a while to adjust. Man, let me tell you just quickly, side note, and I'll probably do this a lot in general. This is It's Christmas Day, and I just had an amazing Christmas and spent with amazing friends and family, and um I I've just, yeah, it's life is feels really great and really special right now, even though it's been a hard year in a lot of ways, and but it's also been a special year in a lot of ways. And life is such a roller coaster, and everybody knows that. And I gotta reel it in. I gotta reel it in here. I mean, it's bittersweet for me leaving streaming, and but the other part of it is after leaving streaming behind, and recapping it as we go along here for the next probably 16 months, give or take. I mean, that's with an estimation of GTA 6 still coming out in fall 25. That could obviously get pushed. We'll talk about that. I'll probably talk about GTA 6 in this podcast in general as well. I'm obsessed. It's my favorite game series of all time. What's funny about this is I have a lot of things scripted with this first episode. I thought it would help me if I had a lot of stuff written down, a lot of bullet points, talk about this, talk about that, bring this up, bring that up, type of thing. But I've already I went off script, I think, in the first fucking 20 seconds. I don't even know. But I just did it again with something I'm going to mention later. So you're going to hear me repeat a lot probably in this first episode, maybe first multiple episodes. Um, but anyways, and ramble, that's for sure. Ramble was definitely considered to be in the title, but I became too obsessed and in love with this idea of epilogue at dawn. And the point I've been trying to get to that I keep getting sidetracked from is dawn. What I'm doing after streaming, I have no clue. And that is exactly why I'm starting this podcast 16 months out. It's odd. I don't know if I'm even comfortable with the idea of well, I'm comfortable with sharing this, but I don't know if I'm comfortable with the idea of well, I don't know, making a Twitter post about it. I'm weird, and it's kind of getting into a random aside here again, but it's tough for me. I literally use the username JareUnknown on Twitch, and I do not on YouTube, where this is going to be at, and I do that for a multitude of reasons. Um, but definitely one of the main ones is I'm fine with just not being that known and just having my group of friends on Twitch that I come to hang out with every day and get to spend time with and get to know them and get to laugh with them and share with them. And um, gosh, I mean, if we want to, that's going to be one of the biggest things I'll miss. One of the things I'll miss the most about streaming for sure. But let's not get too. We're a ways out, so I don't. But again, it's back to the idea of like I don't know what I'm comfortable with in terms of how you share this, and it seems a little over dramatic to me to start a podcast 16 months or maybe more out from the dawn, right? But the epilogue is so important to me too. I think it's so important to talk about my experience streaming and my thoughts and tribulations and all that type of stuff. Is that the right word? This might be a recurring segment is where I Google where I'm like, oh, I just said a word and I don't know if I actually know what it means. I just use it sometimes, but I don't know what it means. A cause of great trouble or suffering. Okay, well that's again over dramatic, right on theme with over drama. Yeah, so I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be like a bi-weekly thing. I think we're gonna have about two of these a month. I don't know. It's gonna be 30 minutes or an hour. I think something like one of those two or in between. Again, off script. This is all probably gonna get repeated or come up again, but yeah, we're here. We're in it. We're 6.5 minutes in. It felt like 15. um, man, isn't that? I don't know. I think I'm starting to appreciate more the part about when you experience new things in life and they make you nervous. I think I'm starting to appreciate that more as like a well, it makes me nervous because like I care, like um, and I feel like that's a good place to be. I care about this. This is not a podcast I'm going to like promote on socials. I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel as like a main video upload. My shorts are still going to remain Red Dead Redemption and GTA 5 focus as we push towards GTA 6 because we're prepping the channel to be a GTA 6 content machine, and that is actually just kind of part of my other part here. Again, I hope to kind of not be on script as much in the future. We'll see, and more bullet point oriented. But I am gonna probably be on script tonight, even though I've already gone off script a lot. Um, but I do need to help. Like I have to always kind of. I'm always in squirrel mode, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. And I got to refocus myself from time to time. That's what it is. We'll call it a refocus, and we're naming segments here. I'm definitely gonna remember these segments. um, so yeah, right now my plan is to play GTA 6. I think for about 6 months in a row. 5 stream days a week or something like 4 to 5 stream days a week, and make hours and hours of unique content for it in order to time capsule the unique event that a GTA releases. GTA is my favorite game series of all time. I I always say, I mean, it's the most obvious thing any GTA fan can say, I guess. But if you'd have told me, in 2013 we wouldn't have a new GTA until 12 years later, I'd have been like, what happened? But obviously, a lot happened, and you know, that's the way things go. Um, but I'm just cannot wait. The unique event GTA 6 will be. It's just, oh my goodness, and Rockstar is known for these amazing titles and always trying to top themselves with something incredible. So I absolutely cannot wait, and I'm sure I'll talk about it a lot. What's funny about this, I'm recording this on Christmas, and it's coming out on the 31st. So the whole 27 theory, if you're a GTA 6 fanatic like me, um, schizophrenic, I think is the word others might use, but that's besides the point. um, if then you know about it though, it's seems like so way too many things to be a coincidence, but it's also, man, you just I don't know. Could just be a giant troll or tease that doesn't lead to something. We'll see. But yeah, it's funny. I don't when I'm sitting here now, I do not know, but I will know when it's Wednesday night. I'll know Friday morning. So if there's an announcement for that for anything GTA 6 related or not, that would be amazing. I absolutely cannot wait for the title, and that's the plan. I want to really time capsule it and celebrate how unique of an event it is, and I'm sure what a special game it will be too. It'll be really fun to make these cinematic type edits utilizing like music on YouTube Shorts and TikTok for just really, I'm trying to do that with Red Dead and GTA 5 right now with my YouTube as well, with my YouTube Shorts. But yeah, to be able to get it to do it for a new GTA 6 would be, I don't know. I'm getting nerdy now, and people are like, okay, stop talking about GTA 6, bro. Oh man, but yeah, a couple other things, not a couple other things, probably a lot of other things, honestly. Um, Number one, thanks for listening. It's 10.5 minutes. You're still listening right now. I don't know. That's awesome. And I appreciate it a lot. I am somebody who has a tough time seeing how people appreciate me. I think there's a lot of amazing people that appreciate me and show it in amazing ways. And I still, man, I have a tough time, and so that's random. But anyways, I guess we're just gonna we're sharing. An epilogue is, and now I'm just gonna segue totally away from that. Epilogue is always at the end of a novel, a separate yet essential part of a novel's main plot. It almost always features a time jump, sometimes a few days later, sometimes decades later, shows the reader where the characters end up and may resolve any unanswered questions. So I'm thinking, this podcast can be my way of staying in touch with all of my friends I met during my time streaming and will continue to meet coming up, and showing them where I end up over the course of time. I'm not picturing this podcast ending the day I stop streaming. I'm hopeful that I'll have it in me / I'll want to keep doing it when it comes to being done with streaming, and whatever will come after that. Which, man, gosh, that is, yeah. I know this seems like kind of a weird mixture, but I do think I'm hopeful that a lot of the stuff that we'll kind of get into and talk about and topics will help people, like, at their own turning points in their lives, so turning chapters, entering new dawns, and going through ending phases. I understand maybe the idea of somebody like quitting like a classic, that a traditional job, is that the word? A traditional job. I sound like such a jackass, like not even knowing the term. Jesus, man. 6 years of streaming, that's what it does to you. Makes you an elitist. Oh man, I have a new gaming chair. It's lit. This is the chair I'm gonna play GTA 6 in. I always bring it back to GTA 6. Don't worry, I'll find a fucking way. Okay, I'm a freak. Okay, I'm a GTA 6 freak, and I don't mind. Um, Although I will probably mind if I listen to this back. I will probably be like, "What the fuck?" I mean that I said that, but um, yeah. So this podcast, I think is a way of keeping in touch with my friends. And I picture it going way past end of streaming, and I'm in love with both the idea of epilogue, the ending of something, and I like the idea of endings and beginnings in a structure sense, like in a nostalgic and remembering sense, and in a celebration sense as well. So let me kind of try to break that down if I can. You're turning a chapter, and it's like I said, like I really hope it can help somebody or people. I know I said I'm not going to promote it as well. That's just kind of where I'm at. It's a comfort type of thing. I'm a weird dude who has a lot of different like comfort zone things. I don't. That makes absolutely no fucking sense, probably, but um, I will maybe have an explanation for you on that one day. But it's probably not going to be today. Um, and nostalgia is a big thing for me, especially at the end of the year. This felt like the perfect time. I just, like I said, no, actually, I don't know if I fully mentioned it, but I guess I'll get into it. I have thought about this for the past entire year of 2024. This whole idea of like kind of leaving streaming behind and leaving streaming behind. I gotta slow down and read or speak more clearly, and read more clearly as well. um, it's a mixture. I'm like doing some reading and then going off the cuff, so it's like I'm calling kind of all over the place. But it's okay. We're settling in here. And speaking of, you know, throughout the year, I eventually settled on this idea of doing all these creative things I never did but wanted to throughout my time streaming. The cinematic edits thing I mentioned, I started that with April 2024. I guess technically March 31st. I always think of kind of as April, but technically, March 31st was kind of the day. Um, 31st was kind of the day. Um, 31st was kind of the day. Um, 31st was kind of the day. 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 I don't know how much I want to get into on the podcast here. Um, I was just kind of thinking about my year there when I was. Um, it's just been yeah, it's been tough. I don't know if I'll get into it right now, but definitely don't be worried about it. It's just been tough, but I'm doing great and had an amazing Christmas, and I'm honestly really excited about the future. There's some emotions to it, of course. I care a lot. Um, Streaming is my whole life. Um, besides my amazing friends that I have, obviously. Outside of that, those wonderful peeps. Um, Streaming is it? That's yeah. It's it's a lot to me. It's really important, and I don't know what life will be like without it. I've never done anything like this, like or worked a job, singular job, or same thing like this long at all. Not even close. I believe it was 3 years at my previous job before this. Yeah. So and then we're a little over 6 years streaming. But what I was saying was I almost want I thought about it throughout the year, and I was about to do it in like October, November. Started up. I don't. I had a lot of different titles. I don't think I was set on Epilogue at Dawn quite yet. I think that did happen in November, but not about the time I was really close to doing it, like at the start of Jermis. If you're familiar with the channel, that's our Christmas thing in the channel. We call it Jermis. It sounds like a cult, I know. So do with that information what you will, and have a nice day. Well, don't leave yet though. um, I'm just over here giggling. Open the mic's picking that up. I think I got the audio settings dialed in. Hopefully. Um, oh yeah, future Jared. If you okay, I could just write this down, but I was going to tell myself through the podcast minus 25 decibels on the threshold on your mic settings there, buddy, for the future. I don't know if I wrote it down. Anyways, people are like, "What? Okay, what are you on about?" Yeah, so, but I think it makes a lot of sense for the end of the year, especially on the last day of the year it comes out, right? Probably like in the evening too or something. I think. Not quite sure yet, like what I'm doing streaming wise on that 6 days out. I should probably figure that out, but um, we'll get there. And I think that's perfect. It's the end of 2024 and the dawn of 2025. It's like the perfect day, and I like symbolic stuff like that, and I like obsessing over titles. And I mean, man, I will say, I mean, we'll just kind of get into some of it, I guess, too. Not all of this needs to be just like an explainer. Do more of that too, but of explainer of like what the podcast is in general and stuff. I don't know. I kind of pictured like the episode being mostly that, but you know, now that I kind of rambled about that, I kind of forgot what I was gonna say anyways. So maybe we'll get back on script. um. Oh, in terms of the dawn, or maybe even before dawn, I do think that I've really, thanks to TikTok, become obsessed with like poetry more than ever before, and like writings people said to each other from like literal like centuries ago. They're like dated in the I don't know 1800s or something. Like it's but it's time capsule forever. It's back to that idea of time capsule, and I think I'm so in love with that idea. And on that note, I don't know if I that means I want to be a book writer. I think a book about streaming, maybe pulled from like this podcast, could be a fun idea, and maybe something I might do in some fashion. But definitely the idea of I not only do I not desire to be like a musician, I just never like will be. But mostly because I don't desire it, right? I don't know if like you know, I think a lot of things you put your mind to it, you can do it, and that's something I would have believed even just a few short years ago. But I'm happy to believe and have a more positive mindset on that than I used to have. I feel like it is anyway. I don't know. I don't know. I need to get off my soapbox here. We're looking that up. Look it up. That's the segment. Look it up. box or crate used as a makeshift stand by a public speaker. Oh, it's like the literal meaning. Oh my god, this podcast is gonna be half about me just like learning what terms I've been using for years actually mean. I mean, I have a general idea on some of them, but yeah. Also, a thing that provides an opportunity for someone to air their views publicly. Well, I guess that's it. I mean, I guess that's what a podcast is, right? I guess that's what we're doing here. Um, okay. Yeah. So because of that, I got off a little topic. That's gonna be a theme. Maybe should have been in the title, but Epilogodon to obsess with. I love it. And man, I don't know, that text on the screen is just right in your face. Like leaving streaming in 2026 after GT6. I'm just looking at it the whole time like I'm sitting here recording this, and it's man, it's wow. You're welcome, I guess. That hits you right in the face. Like people, you probably saw it before you even heard me speak like words, coherent ones, anyways. That maybe still hasn't happened. um, we're just getting distracted. I don't know, man. Oh, the point I never got to before, a while back in the podcast, probably about 15 minutes ago. I want to do a podcast for so long, and I just never could settle on an idea, a concept, a topic, whatever you want to call it, like the main theme or topic, and then yeah, then this just like fell into my arms. I think there's like so much to be said about that in life in general, just things like surprising you out of nowhere when you're not even like trying. And like this podcast, even though it quite literally is me trying to figure out what I'm doing after streaming while reflecting on it, I think it is it feels like I'm taking a nice approach to it, like a healthy approach to what's my future going to be? How am I going to, figure that out on my own? Well, I don't need to figure it out on my own, right? So that feels amazing and really special, and I mean, so does just getting to be able to stream all these years. It's unbelievable. It's yeah, yeah, yeah. I, figuring out my future after streaming wrapped into this idea of yeah, you know, and the funny part about it, I think, is that I still can't think of a reason to explain why I want to leave streaming, like a singular reason, because it's like it's so many different things, and we'll discuss, throughout. But I do think a lot of it comes back to the simple fact that I'm ready for new chapters in life. And I suppose in some regards, streaming is holding me back, but I don't have resentment towards that. In fact, I love streaming. I am reading off a script. These are like words I wrote though, so I know it probably sounds a little robotic, but reading off a script. Okay. This is my first episode. We're doing it though. We're here. I have this idea just fell into my arms, and it's amazing, and I feel special that I get to do this. I appreciate you all listening. Yeah, I really do love streaming, and I was talking with a friend the other day that pointed out to me how it's a great thing to actually leave something behind when you love it, because you still have, like you're left with like the positive memories and the good times, and that's where I'm still at with streaming. I still love it. I mean, hell, I've been loving it so much in the last year and a half since I went changed to like variety streaming. It's been a lightning bolt for me in a way. Like it's just like completely reignited my love for it. Not that I like fell out of love with it necessarily or anything like that, but it's just like playing the same game every stream for 4 or 5 years in a row, whatever it was. I think, I think, yeah, something like that, roughly. Um, it's that it just gets old, and it's a choice I've made and continued to make over and over and over again. I think even to an extent against um my mental health, like what would have been better from, I don't know how to explain that, like my mental health would have been benefited by realizing sooner that it was impacting my mental health a lot. I really but again, there's so many memories and friends and so much to appreciate about that era in my stream, if you want to call it that. I think it is the biggest era and will remain the biggest era, right? But I feel like GTA 6 is what I've been waiting for. It's gosh, man. I went my entire 20s of my life without a new Grand Theft Auto game. It's unbelievable. Like I started streaming because of PUBG, and I wouldn't be here where I'm at if it wasn't for PUBG. And yeah, I still really love streaming, but I think you can love something and still be ready to let it go and move on from it. And sorry, I'm seeing where I'm at in my notes here. Yeah, I'm ready for new chapters in life, and I think yeah, this friend was pointing out. Like I said, this friend was pointing out to me that I'm all over the place, by the way. And thank you for hanging in there if you're still listening at the 26th minute now. Check in. We'll check in every once in a while. I'm just checking in on you. Is that a good Bill? That was terrible. I love Bill Burr, though, by the way. Um, I feel like that's worth a mention on my first podcast episode here of Epilogue at Dawn. Bill Burr, I love him, and he's an inspiration in many ways. I will in no ways be anywhere on the same universe of him as a podcaster, as a anything at all. So set the tone there, and that's fine. But where the hell was I? I love how that I got distracted while literally talking about being distracted. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if streaming is really holding me back in life. I wrote that thought down, and I don't even really know. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like I'm the type of person where it's like no thought is final. Um, and I mean, I don't know if that's unique to me. I feel like that's everybody, right? We're people. We're human, and so I feel like it just only makes sense that no thought is final. But that honestly reminds me of PUBG too. This idea of like, I always loved in PUBG to end on a win. A lot of people would be like, no, we gotta keep going if we keep winning, which I can understand. That's fun. Like, yeah, you're like kind of trying to ride the high, right? But and I'm all about leave on a high note and keep fond of the good memories. But that's also in some ways, I don't know, tough to achieve because it's like life is not necessarily doesn't necessarily go that way. But I think it's a good thing to try to achieve, to try to go towards, I guess, in a way, because there's so much to be thankful for with streaming, and that's yeah. I've really enjoyed doing variety the last 2 years. I've really enjoyed getting into YouTube this year and getting back into some single player games and making content for them that I like, where like the game speaks for itself, with like a cinematic edit. So I was mentioning that earlier. Excuse me, belching my coffee. Oh my god, I got a mug for Christmas that is insulated for coffee, like a small little coffee mug insulated, so my coffee stays warm, even with the cap open too, which is like, wow, science, bitches. Okay, that was my impressions. That's not Jesse Pinkman, that's for sure. I'm gonna take a drink though, so this is gonna be a silent break. During this, I want you to think about the beach of Vice City and how I will be driving on it next year. Okay, this is a lot. Part of me wants to listen to this back, and then part of me doesn't. Now that I've started doing it, now that we're 29 minutes in, that's amazing. I had this feeling that if I kind of got rambling about something that was a topic that I cared about, it would go quick like this, and it would be like this, and it would be like, oh shit, okay. All of a sudden, it's 29 minutes, and I'm just chatting away. But I mean, that's yeah. I do like to do that, and that's one of the things I'll miss a lot too is the interaction. I mean, that's the big main thing for me with Twitch. It's the interaction with people. it's the friendships, relationships you form with people that you know make your life better, and that I don't want to lose touch with that. So I'm optimistic that I don't know where life will go. I don't want to promise anything. I'll say that. I've gotten better about that. I'm kind of a more of a let's set expectations low, and then I'll try to um, go beyond them, or at least, yeah, go beyond them. If they're low, I should be able to go beyond them. But we're all out here doing our best, and we'll see what life brings. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. Are we thinking it? It'd be really funny is if I actually knew the answer in this first episode of what I'm gonna do at the end. I mean, at the end of streaming. That would be pretty amazing. Um, I I got kind of sidetracked there in my own mind. I tend to do that, but that'd be funny. I don't. I guess that would the only what are the theories that I've had this episode. I guess mostly just like kind of a poet. I don't. Again, call myself a poet. Not really my thing. Um, I mean, hell, even like the idea of like having dreams. I don't know if I've ever even like. I mean, sure, probably when I was a kid, sure, I'm sure I did believe in such a thing. And again, I think this is personal to each person. This is just kind of like my feeling on it. And I don't, again, no thought is final, right? Maybe that should have been the name of this. That would have been a great name too. Um, I'm such a like I care about brands and stuff, like branding things and slogans and that type of stuff too. Words, I like words are fun. Words are fun. Oh man. Um, yeah. Epilogue at Dawn. At the same time that I'm enjoying streaming and ready to move on, it's also an odd feeling of what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Also, is this the right way of going about this? Through a podcast, I was talking about that. I kind of, like I said, I went off script. I had that on my mind, so I kind of talked about that already a little bit. The idea of like doing it this way versus like a Twitter post. I don't know. I don't like to be a big deal. I don't want to, which I know you're probably gonna be like, well, okay, but you're making a podcast out of it that's gonna last 16 months and beyond, 16 months until the end of streaming, or roughly, um, and beyond. But man, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot to hash out here. We got a lot of work to do. Okay, we got a work cut out for us. I like it's a we thing. We. No, I have my work cut out for me. Truthfully, I have my work cut out for me, and I, man, I can't help but say, so proud of how I've grown this year, and because this is probably the only one I record in 2024. But you know what? I'll probably be a sappy and sentimental and reflective and nostalgic in early 2025 as well. I mean, this last week of the year, especially a prime time for that. New Year's Eve, one of my favorite holidays. I don't even know if it's technically a holiday because New Year's Day is a holiday. The holiday in that scenario, right? Belching my coffee in between thoughts there. Long pauses. There's gonna be a lot of that. We're getting through it though, and I'm happy for you being here at the 30, almost 34 minutes in. Um, so these thoughts of like, am I doing the right thing? I feel like I don't dropping a percentage is like an easy way to probably translate it to people, but I also like I don't like doing that because then I just like kind of think about that. But I guess if I were to do it, I'm gonna do it anyways. I would say it's 90% or more certain that this is it's just it again it's like a lot of reasons that we're going to get into like I mentioned earlier, but a lot of it is it kind of comes back to um I actually have this written down, this full thought here. I know I do, so give me one moment to find it here. I apologize that it's a little more scripted, but like I said, we're starting out here, we're doing our best. Let's see, is it, oh yeah, here we go. So Well, maybe I did never write it down. Okay. But yeah, I thought about it a lot this year, bottom line. And 90% plus of is my feeling on it. 90% plus positive that I'm ready to move on. I think a lot of it really just comes back to I don't necessarily want to. Again, it's going to sound weird because it's like I'm not. It's not like I'm putting on an amazing show. I mean, I definitely put time and thought and effort into the theming of my streams and stuff like that, and I care about that, and I value that stuff greatly. That creative side of me really comes out through that stuff, and it's so fun. But calling myself like an entertainer, I don't really love the idea of that still because it's like I don't know. We have fun, and I try to do entertaining things, but I wouldn't call myself an entertainer. But with for lack of a better term and all that, with all that being said there, I don't want to entertain people like every day anymore. And again, it's like that makes it sound so like more dramatic than it needs to. Right on theme with what we were talking about earlier. Too much drama. But no, I mean that is where it's at. I don't want things to be too dramatic. I don't want necessarily to or really at all for this to like blow up. I'm not going to promote it much and stuff like that is what I'm saying. I just really want to get the word out there on what I've been thinking about all year, um, what I've been contemplating, and realizing some truths about streaming. Variety streaming is really hard. It's been said. It's an obvious statement. I There's like some sort of balance, but yeah, I think it might be almost impossible. Unless you're just really talented and amazing, and there's a lot of people out there that are, and certainly anybody knows my stream. I think this is worth bringing up in episode one of this. Not the best, just memorable. That's all I've ever been going for. I came up with that slogan. I think I want to say like in my second year of streaming. The second I came up with it, I made it my bio on Twitch, and like that's been it since. And it's a motto I really believe in. I There's plenty of people trying to be the best, and I don't shade that at all. I don't. That's the right term of that. That's the right term, right? Like I'm shading you, throwing shade. That's what I'm. Yeah, I'm thinking of throwing shade. Um, yeah. To publicly express contempt or disrespect for someone, or something, especially in an indirect or subtle way. I mean, it's so funny that my brain even thinks to like say like, no disrespect, or I'm not throwing any shade at you. Of course you're not. Like you're just talking, dude. Relax. That's what I want to say to my brain, but maybe that'll help with this too. This might be therapeutic, in a lot of ways for me. This podcast, and again, thanks for being here. I can't. I want to be overly thankful because I do appreciate it a lot, and you know, I feel good about where things are going. I thought about it a lot this year. I thought it was time to share and start talking about it and start thinking about the future. Um, because it's easy to get tunnel visioned with streaming. For me, anyways, I have just been tunnel visioned on it, and I got less so this year, and it's all led up to this moment and doing these creative things on my way out the door that I've never got around to or wanted to do but never did, that type of thing. We're getting to do. This podcast is one of those things, most certainly, that I've wanted to do for a really long time. Sorry about the mic. I moved it a little bit. The audio I want to change for a little bit there. Sorry. I try to be good about that too. I'm trying to like constantly watch my microphone in OBS to make sure it's picking up pretty good. I think we're good. Started YouTube Shorts and TikTok uploads regularly. That is a hard word for me. I think I did a lot better job the second time though. So go me. YouTube Shorts and TikToks, and then I've also been. I'll probably talk about this some as well. Planet Coaster 2 came out. I played a lot of the first game, but I've already put, I think, 170 plus hours into the second one. I don't know how that compares to the first one. I've been playing it almost every day, minus the weekends because I don't stream on the weekends. Almost every day since it came out early November. I love it. I'm getting to build a jungle of my Twitch memories over the years, references, inside jokes, funny things, uh, all that type of stuff related to my Twitch channel over the years. It's also going to be a reflection point for me, an epilogue type of, kind of related to the epilogue part of this, right? Um, yeah, we're gonna have references to individuals in the stream. We're gonna have references to stream memories and um, inside jokes. Kind of, yeah, kind of what I already just mentioned. But I'm really excited about it. I love it, and the key thing for me is I'm highly detailing it. Like I've barely even spent time building rides in my 170 hours. I've probably spent over 165 of those not building rides and building scenery and building out sections of the park. I mean, kind of. Yeah, like it. You wouldn't know from afar that I've made much progress, but it's when you get up close, and that's kind of the whole point for me. That's why I'm going to work on this for over. I don't know. I'm thinking to be done by summer. I feel like that could get pushed back. I certainly have to have it done before GTA 6 because I will not be playing anything else but GTA 6 when GTA 6 drops. So, um, that will be that, and this will be this, and I'm excited about this podcast and about the upcoming future. And this is a journey of self discovery for me. What do I want to do with my life? What do I want to be? Do I have dreams? It's funny. When I wrote this note a few weeks ago, at the end of the after, do I have dreams? Question mark. Probably just haven't realized them yet. Is what I wrote, and then I kind of had a different thought when I said it earlier. So that's interesting because, like, yeah, I do think one I had earlier is kind of more realistic. Of like, I don't know if I've ever believed since like, except for like when I was a kid, in the concept of like, I don't know, having dreams. And I'm not somebody that um think that I don't know. I don't think that it's important to be. I never wanted to get any sort of fame out of streaming or ever become a huge big time streamer, and I never have, and that's been a beautiful blessing for me. I think there's so much that it would be hard for me to handle, and I wouldn't handle well with big time streaming. Lots of followers, lots of viewers, type of thing, and so streaming's been amazing to me, and I'm still loving it, and we're marching towards an amazing year of tons of GTA 6 promotion. Man, by the time I like go and record a new one of these in a few weeks or whatever, maybe I'll so much to say it'll be more often. I don't know. I'm planning on every other week, about two a month, maybe sometimes three or something. We'll see. Um, but when I go to record it again, I'll know if the 27 theory is true, and maybe we'll have some GTA 6 screenshots or something. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Maybe we won't. I don't know. It's hard to say. But man, I'm super excited because 2025, even if the game does slip out of fall 2025 is going to have tons of promotion for the game, new trailers, all sorts of hype, mapping project getting updated. It's going to be amazing. I absolutely just cannot wait. And it's going to be fun to be along that journey and to simultaneously be, in this mode every few weeks, kind of talking about my future while also reminiscing on the past and, where I think I'm going, right? Yeah, new chapters in life are coming, and I'm excited. I I've had an amazing year, and even though there's been some tough stuff too, like I was kind of mentioning earlier, it's been still a special year in a lot of ways, and um, capping it off with putting this out on the last day of the year is, I think, a really exciting thing for me. I'm very happy that I finally found a podcast that like topics slash themes and concept that really works for me. That really makes sense to me. I think I can talk about it a lot and often, and um, I think it's going to be really, really good. My last kind of note here that I haven't quite covered, because I think I covered all the main stuff, is some of my Twitter drafts. There's a lot of things I write and then I just don't send on Twitter like all the time. Um, that sounds probably sus, but we're gonna leave it at that and just move on to. I'm supposed to find one about 2025 in GTA 6. Let's see here. Something I wrote a while ago that I didn't put out again because I like this idea of like announcing it with a tweet. I don't know, it just seems weird to me. But then you probably again, it's like then I think, well, how's that any different from a podcast? Well, it's a lot different in some ways, but I don't know, maybe not in others. This says 2025, my final full year as a streamer, my most creative yet, my most creative year yet, and the year of Grand Theft Auto VI. That's actually a pretty good one. I think I was just, I wasn't like, oh, I didn't want to send it. It's just I'm waiting until 2025. Um, yeah, it is going to be my final full year, right? Even if like Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out in spring 26, I think I would be done before the end of 2026. I do think spending 6 months with a game and playing it a lot, and it's like I don't know, maybe it's I don't know. I'll leave the caveat that my mind can change, and maybe I end up thinking, you know what, I only really need 4 months, and then I'm ready to move on, or whatever is coming next. The timing changes, and we'll see. My hope is definitely to get like at least 3 months in a row. Like I said, playing 4 to 5 days a week on stream, mostly single player. I'll say that right out of the gate. GTA Online is fun in some regards, but and I'm sure at launch it's going to be um, have a lot of stuff and be full of features and have some cool stuff. But I love single player. I love the dedication Rockstar spends on their open worlds, making them feel so alive, and the NPCs, and it's just oh my god, it's gonna be so fucking immersive. It's insane. Red Dead Redemption 2 graphics still hold up so well 6 years later from a previous console generation. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be amazing. I can always bring it back to GTA 6. You best believe. I don't know if there's any other tweet I have in here. Um, I have an old one in here about I was contemplating kind of leaving streaming and then coming back for GTA 6, but then I found my way into variety streaming and I realized I absolutely love variety streaming. It's a lot of fun. But you don't really. Okay, I don't want to speak generally because certainly there's so many streamers and everybody has different experiences. For me, what I would need to do to grow as a variety streamer, I don't really want to do. Right? Um, like the type of content I want to put out on social media, I don't want it to be like me playing the game. Like I don't have clips, and I, I want the live stream to be the live stream, and I know it's non-conventional, and I know that it's not everybody's favorite, but it's my comfort level thing, and yeah. So kind of forgot I started thinking about something else while I was in the middle of that thought. I tend to do that. I also have been putting my hand on my mouth. Hopefully, it's not fucking with the audio too much. Gotta remember not to do that too much as well. I'm gonna be a professional here. We're gonna be a professional for sure. Man, what a way to cap an amazing day here. I had a really special Christmas, and I am nervously excited to share with you all this on the last day of the year, and or whenever you listen to it at your leisure, of course. Um, a new and exciting thing for me. That will be bittersweet, but that will be good. And I literally like mean like when I say it's, I think it's gonna be therapeutic. I don't know. I love talking about things, and it helps me a lot. And now I don't have to just talk to myself. Um, so, but even if I do, that's okay too. I mean, it's I think there's a part of this too where it's like I love the idea that I'm just getting these thoughts out there, and I do think I'm gonna try to make myself listen to them back to try to really digest them fully, and I think it's gonna be a really fun journey coming up, and yeah. Oh yeah, I was on about being a variety streamer. It doesn't match with what I want to do for non-Twitch content, for YouTube Shorts, TikToks, you know, that type of thing. And yeah, it's just it matches my day to day, keeps things fresh for me, and it makes a lot of sense. I still get social games in with friends, with like FC, and I get my creative game in with Planet Coaster 2. Spent a ton of time doing that. Still get my sports games in with Madden, and uh, and then single player for like the shorts and stuff. It's all a delicate balance, but really fun, and been really exciting this year, and I'm looking forward to the future with that as well. Um, it's gonna be a good journey, and we're gonna, I think, learn a lot, and it'd be really fun to find out where I end up at. And maybe I won't know when I'm in streaming too, and I think I have to learn to accept that too. I'm probably more shows should be in the lane of let's not worry about that because that's 16 months away or whatever, or more or whatever. So, but yeah, I think it's been an amazing year, and I've grown a lot personally, and um, it's time to figure out the new chapter, and but at the same time reminisce on what has been and how much I've loved streaming and pros and cons. That'll be coming up in future episodes. Like I said, I think we're gonna have episodes every other week, and that's gonna be that. I'm trying to just kind of think if there's anything else here. Like we're kind of have a slow, anticlimactic ending. Um, I'm winding down, but it's yeah. Thanks for listening, and thanks for um, being a friend and being someone who cares and being along with me for this journey of my final year and a half streaming and reflection on it and talk about it and uh, talk about the future and what the future holds for me once I begin a new chapter after streaming. Thanks for listening to episode 1. We'll talk soon, and happy New Year to you.